So you guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the webinar. And we're going to talk today specifically about Amazon to Amazon flips. If you've been selling on Amazon for any length of time, you've probably heard of these. I've made a lot of money on Amazon to Amazon flips, and particularly at this time of year, it seems like Amazon really, the price really jumps and goes down, right, on various products.
Right.
And so typically for me, this is during November and during December is when I've made a bunch of money on Amazon to Amazon flips.
Yeah, and I mean, throughout the year, I've done flips in shoes and clothing, but in the fourth quarter, there are opportunities and a lot of opportunities in toys also for flips.
Yeah,
especially as Amazon goes in and out of stock on popular items.
I can remember when I first heard about them, you know, and I was like, no way, you can't just buy from Amazon and send it back in. There's no way you can make money doing that.
Right. But, right. And, I guess when you think about it, it's sort of just like buying from any other retailer. It's like buying from Walmart, buying their inventory and, selling it on Amazon. If Amazon is selling and they go out of stock, then it's really like the same thing.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I think you guys are going to find the information super helpful. I've known Liran now for almost 2 years. I partner with him now on a number of private label products. He's one of the smartest sellers I know in the Amazon seller space. So your time here is going to be well spent. All right, so the first question, we're just going to kind of do this as an interview style. Liran, just tell us a little bit about your Amazon experience.
Sure. So actually, I started selling on Amazon about 2 years ago. Right before I sold on Amazon, I actually experimented with. I took a drop shipping course, and I actually had an e-commerce site on drop shipping like 2 years ago in Q4, which did very well. But because it was drop shipping and I didn't have inventory, the margins were sort of low, and that got me into learning more and reading more about FBA. And that's when I started selling on Amazon. I started out doing RA, OA, and pretty much right away I started getting into Amazon flips. The first place that I really heard about it was from Chris Green's online arbitrage and learning about Keepa charts and sort of how to find opportunities for Amazon flips.
Awesome. So, talk to us a little bit exactly, again, like in a nutshell, what Amazon flips are.
Right. So essentially Amazon flip is buying inventory from Amazon. So Amazon is actually the seller, and then reselling it, sending it right back to Amazon when you get it. So an example of this was last year in July. Myself and I brought this to a few other sellers. We bought it out together. We bought a Halloween costume that was at $15. We bought about 400 units together, so we each had about 100 units, and we resold them pretty much all in October last year for between $39.99 and like $42.95. And that basically we bought out Amazon's inventory and resold it. So basically it's either buying out Amazon's inventory, or sometimes they'll put a limit of 3 on an item. So it's buying it and then waiting for Amazon to go out of stock, and then reselling it on Amazon.
All right, excellent. So those of you that are watching, again, if you want to ask questions, you can hit the little question box down here. There's also a chat feature. You can use that as well for any questions that you might have. Those of you that are just joining us, this is Liran Hirschkorn. He is a experienced Amazon seller. Liran also ran a Amazon to Amazon flips group for about four months, and from everyone that I talked to, the sellers that were in that group, and some small sellers as well as some very large sellers, they said it was the best Amazon to Amazon flip group and the best deals group that they were in. So he had 65 members. It was $150 a month, and he had a long waiting list. And so what I always like to say is the proof is in the pudding. You know, if you're able to have a group of 65 people paying $150 a month who all, you know, give great raving reviews, and then there's a waiting list, he did very little advertising, then that's someone who knows how to do Amazon to Amazon flips. And so these sellers in this group, they weren't small sellers. Actually, there were some small sellers, but there were also some really big sellers who were very successful at it.
And I want to, I'll throw out a tip here since, you know, I know everybody came here on their Sunday night and want to make sure you get value for your time. So Q4 is a really good, you know, while my flip group and the flips that I've done have generally focused on shoes and clothing, Q4 is a good time to follow Keepa on Twitter, okay? And you can see people get alerts on Twitter from Keepa, so you can see what other people are tracking, which items for price drops. And there's a lot of toy opportunities during Q4 that you'll see other people following that you can find those price drops. So just doing that alone, you know, you can make money on that just by following, you know, Keepa's Twitter feed.
Awesome. So right there's a great tip. Make sure you write that one down, follow Twitter. And I just want to reiterate again, like if you're a newer seller, you can make literally thousands and thousands of dollars just on Amazon to Amazon flips just in November and December. And so, you know, if you track it well, right, just like he said, and you have a system, you can make thousands and thousands of dollars just on Amazon to Amazon flips. There actually are some products that even just on one product, you know, you could easily make over $1,000. And that's just buying from Amazon, right, and then selling it back on Amazon.
And Andy, I can share my screen here for a second. I just took a screenshot earlier, so I'll just share this. This is from Inventory Lab. I have Amazon as my supplier. So this is year-to-date revenue just from Amazon flips. And this is right here is the profit from Amazon flips just this year, 26,000. It's a 56% ROI this year. I never touch the products. They all go to a prep center, and it's, you know, additional inventory that I was able to acquire just from Amazon flips.
That's crazy. So folks, right there, again, kind of the proof is in the pudding. $26,000 he's been able to make. He's been able to profit just from Amazon to Amazon flips. So just tell us a little bit how you got into Amazon to Amazon flips, you know, how you started to focus on that.
Yeah, so so I guess when I started early on and, you know, I was learning about online, you know, arbitrage and learning about Keepa charts, you know, I saw that there was an opportunity with Amazon to Amazon flips. So I started basically really learning how to look. I really started doing it. I did it in toys in the beginning and then really moved on to outside of Q4 to shoes and clothing because it's easier to identify the flips because of variation pricing. So when you look on Amazon, you know, you may see like a shoe that's priced, you'll see it Amazon prices from $29.99 to $109.99. And so knowing that there's already a low price variation there as one of the variations makes it a little bit easier. So I started really following those variation pricing that had big differences. And I would look, you know, categories like sports and outdoors for like fitness type clothing and clothing and shoes. And then I would sort of follow a lot of the rabbit trails from one item to another item to finding more and more products. And, you know, I just, I guess I've had a lot of experience with it over the last, you know, over a couple of years.
And I know that you have kind of a focus. Or you enjoy doing shoes and clothing, right, for flips?
Yes, yeah, and yeah, it's mainly I find it easier because of all the different, you know, variations. So you can have, you know, if you have, you know, Cuba Vera, for example, as a brand of shirts that I would flip, and I know the pricing. If you see all the variations are $60, but one variation is $20. Then it gives you a more clue to know that the real price is really $60. But for some reason, either Amazon is low in stock, you know, they're lowering the price on one variation. So you get a better sense of what the real market price is when you have a lot of, or more variations to look at. So that's why I found doing it in shoes and clothing was easier.
So help us understand, because I get this question a lot when it comes to buying shoes. Is question everyone always asks is, what sizes do you buy, or so what sizes do you like to go with?
Sure. So so in men's shoes, some of the bigger sizes sell really well, especially if you think about people go online a lot of times because they can't necessarily find the size in a store. So things like wide sizes sell well. Men's size 12, 13, even 14 sell pretty well. Again, because a lot of other shoes either on Amazon don't have them in stock. So somebody with a size 14 doesn't have as many options, and they can't necessarily find it in a store. So I like size, 8 and above for men's. Women's, ideally, I've bought size 5, but ideally size 6 and higher. Size 10, for example, you wouldn't think sells well, but actually sells pretty well. So I generally go up to a 10. But again, I've bought a 10. I've sold 10.5 and 11 in women's just because I know it's hard to find in a store, and on Amazon the selection is a lot smaller.
Can you just talk to us a little bit about some of the Amazon rules or Amazon's TOS that we should be aware of as sellers?
Sure. So pretty much, so the rules pretty much say that you can't use your Prime account to buy flips. So I actually have an Amazon business account, which if you spend $49, you can actually get free 2-day shipping. So I recommend you open that up if you want to do Amazon flips. And you can't pretty much, the main rules, you can't buy lightning deals as flips. You can buy deal of the day. You can buy other discounts or other coupon codes. Sometimes they have around different holidays, but lightning deals are against the terms of service. Somebody has, it's a good question here about returns. So somebody's asking, aren't there many more returns with clothes and shoes? So the answer is yes, there are more returns with clothing and shoes. I would say shoes more than clothing. Shoes, you're probably looking at between 10 and 15% returns. But most of the time, they go back into your sellable inventory. I would find 90% of the time they go back to sellable inventory. Clothing is a little bit less. And again, almost all the time it does go back to sellable inventory. But the margins are also better.
Have you ever had to use like an Amazon receipt, for maybe some type of dispute or anything?
I'm trying to remember. I think once I've had that issue, and Amazon accepted it. I've heard a couple other stories that maybe one time Amazon didn't accept it for somebody. I've personally never had an issue with it, so it's something that if it comes across, hopefully Amazon will accept it. What I did when I had the issue was I went to my order and then I downloaded it as a PDF invoice. It made it look a little bit better, so maybe it's part of the reason why it got accepted. So I don't know what the future is, or if Amazon is going to allow this. I would think if Amazon would not want to allow it, they can just come out with a policy and say you can't resell from Amazon. If they wanted to do that, they could come up with that policy. But I personally have never had an issue with my account because of Amazon flips, and I've done thousands of units.
Excellent. So hey, those of you just joining us, you can ask questions here if you're on Zoom. There's a little Q&A feature. Those that are watching us live on Facebook, feel free to put any questions you might have there for Liran. So if you're just joining us, he just showed a screenshot. He's done over $100,000 in revenue just this year with Amazon to Amazon flips. Over $24,000 in net profit from those flips. And we're talking about how lucrative participating and doing Amazon to Amazon flips can be in the fourth quarter, particularly in November and December, when Amazon, the price fluctuations seem to even go a lot hot and a lot heavier. So I think you definitely want to get into this. I do it every year. I particularly hit it hard in November and December. So Rod has a question. What about clothing? are there any areas that you target more? Example, men, women, children, baby sizes.
I mean, not necessarily. I really look for sales rank, and I look for sales rank and the pricing opportunity really there. As far as, I mean, sizing, generally, medium, large, extra large, like in men and women, sells better than, let's say, a small for most items. I've done kids shoes. I've done baby doesn't seem to come up a whole lot as far as flips. I've done some costumes for babies, but I found more just in general as far as price drops. I found more for men and women as far as clothing. But for shoes, I found children's shoes. Best time really to do children's shoes to sort of build up your inventory is in like April, May, as you get closer to back to school, because kids shoes sell, the best time of year to sell kids shoes is before for back to school. Or you have sometimes like where dress shoes might do better, like around Easter, Christmas. Dress shoes do better. But as long as they're priced in the sales rank, they're good opportunities. I wouldn't pass on those opportunities.
All right. So Dean has a question. He says, can you give us an example of a typical search? Like what you're looking for, rank, number on hand with Amazon or other sellers, etc.
Yeah. So like on a typical search, let's say, so I'm looking generally at Amazon as the seller. I mean, if you're just starting out with shoes, I would say, stick to 25,000 rank or lower. Stick to, less amount in variations. So maybe stick to, as far as like different colors, maybe less than 5 or 6 colors. And in clothing, you could probably go a little bit higher on the rank. You could probably go to at least 50,000 in terms of clothing. I'd go higher also, but you might want to have a little bit more experience, just depending on seasonality and pricing and how many variations. And then as far as other sellers, I don't necessarily, if other sellers are much higher priced than Amazon and I know I can compete for the buy box, then the amount of other sellers doesn't necessarily impact me very much if I know I can price around the same thing, as the buy box sellers after Amazon will go out of stock.
So I'm approved for DVDs, and I don't know if you've ever done these or not, but like last Christmas and the previous Christmas, I made thousands of dollars just from flipping like DVD TV series. Have you ever gotten into those at all?
No, I've never done that. I've done some video games, and I've done toys, but I've never done DVDs. It's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, and like series like MASH, or various ones like that. Amazon for some reason will drop the price, and I've made massive amounts. So like that's probably my favorite thing to flip in Q4 as far as Amazon to Amazon.
And I want to share my screen. I put on that Twitter feed that I was showing you before. So this is Keepa's Twitter feed. And when you go to it, you want to click on tweets and replies, because they're replying. These are people tracking products. So for example, I don't know if this is a good flip or not, but this is somebody that's tracking the price on this item. So it could be that the price just dropped, for example, on this item, and it's a good opportunity. Again, I don't know, but you can see here, especially throughout Q4, for example, this person is following the Lego Star Wars Imperial Death Trooper just dropped. Again, I don't know if you have to be approved for Star Wars to sell this or not, but the point is that you can see what other people are following and find those, and that means the price just dropped on this because it matched whatever the price they were looking for. And you can sort of scroll down and through the Keepa and find flips. They will also, you have other countries here, so I just skip all the ones that are in other languages, and depending on the time of day, you might have a good amount of that. But just going through the Keepa feed for Twitter, you can find potential items. Again, you'll see a lot of other countries, but you'll also find ones of people tracking in the U.S. Here's a Blu-ray, for example, Animal House, that just dropped, for example. So these could be, they're not necessarily potential opportunities, but these could be opportunities where, price drops on an item and you can buy and resell. And especially in Q4, I would start following this like in November, and then really looking for, the pattern on Keepa for price drops on Amazon to find potential Q4 flips. Awesome.
So make sure you want to fire up your Twitter feed and you want to follow Keepa. Do you think Amazon sellers, right, new ones, are flips like something that a newer seller can learn?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I pretty much started doing flips when I started selling on Amazon. So anybody can learn Amazon flips. It's really just a strategy on looking at price history, understanding sales rank, understanding sales rank and variations when it comes to shoes and clothing is important. So the more variations you have, the less if your specific color size is selling. So the less variations, the better. So understanding some of these things are going to help you. But yeah, anybody can learn how to do it.
So Mike asked, and I don't think you said this. If you see the question there in Zoom.
Yeah, what leads you to believe a business account 2-day shipping isn't against AZ policy?
Yeah.
A little paranoid to try. Because the terms of service just says that you can't use a Prime account for flips. I've also personally used my business account for many, many flips. And I know also a lot of other sellers who have, and we've never, I don't know anyone that's ever had an issue.
Cool.
I see Richard asking, how much does a price have to drop to get posted, or does it post all drops no matter how small? So as far as Keepa goes, if you're tracking an item, you can track a specific price that you want to get a notification. Like on the people on Twitter, they're looking for a specific price, and then on the Keepa site, there's a deals page where you can sort based on from 0 to 100% price drops. There's also a couple other websites that track Amazon price drops, so you can really find them anywhere between 0 and 100% drop.
Cool. So Mark, I see your question. Yeah, you have to get invoices from particular wholesalers to get ungated for DVDs. It is not easy. I was able to do it over 2 years ago, so I don't know what the process is now. But basically you have to approach distributors and wholesalers to get ungated for those DVDs. So I'm just trying to think other questions here. If anyone else has any, please post them right here. This is Liran Hirschkorn again. He used to run a Amazon to Amazon Facebook group. He had 65 members. They were paying $150 a month. Liran actually shut that group down, and I heard a lot of moaning and a lot of angst across the internet because of how much the members of that group loved it and how profitable it was for a lot of those members. One of the reasons he did is he's put a lot of his time and focus now into private label items. So you want to just tell us a little bit about that? Because look, that was a lot of really good money that you were making. And I know myself and others included were like, man, what are you doing? That's crazy. You're making basically, over $100,000 a year, providing huge amount of value, for all of your members who loved your group. So just bring us a little bit into that mindset of why you stopped doing that.
Right. So there's a couple of reasons why I stopped doing it, but I guess one of the main reasons is I was posting about 20 flips a day. Or more in the group. My original commitment was to do, at least 6 to 15 flips a day. But I really tried to, deliver value to the people in the group. And so I was really posting a lot of flips, and, I was spending probably about 4 to 6 hours a day finding flips. And, I just felt like it was, it took too much of my time to run my Amazon business. And decided that, it was the right time to put a stop to the group. I still think there's an opportunity with Amazon flips, but my personal business has moved more into private labeling just because I started doing that in the beginning of this year, and it something that is has done well for me. So I've sort of moved my my personal business model to to private label. But the group was really good, but it just took up a lot of time. I don't think personally anybody needs to spend 4 to 6 hours a day, but I was posting flips for 60 people and wanted to make sure that everybody sort of had an opportunity to buy before Amazon was sold out. But I think if you spend, an hour a day, you can find, some days you might be able to find 5 to 10 opportunities. Some days for an hour you may not find anything.
So Rita says, yes, I'm so waiting for you to open up your group again.
Maybe not right now. Probably the answer I'd have to give. Somebody asked about another website for price drops. So I'll share my screen here. This is a website that I originally learned about from online arbitrage. It's called the Tractor. So it's attractor.com, TRACKTOR, and it also has price drops. It has trending items. It has movers, items in different categories, etc. So again, this is another resource for you to be able to to find Amazon price drops and potential flips. It's called thetractor.com.
Awesome. So there's 2 sites in. You guys definitely want to check out the Twitter feed of Keepa. And then there's another one you just mentioned, Tractor. So someone has a question. Did you ever use TA for AZ to AZ flips?
So I have used tactical arbitrage. I think it's awesome. I never really used it for the for Amazon flips, just because I never got to learning how to do it. But tactical arbitrage is really good software. Cool.
So again, this is Liran Hirschkorn. He had a amazing Amazon flip group. Many of us, myself included, thought he was crazy when he closed it down. He had 65 members and many on a waiting list. They were paying $150 a month, so you guys can do the math. He was making really good money from it, but he felt like he wanted to move in a different direction, and so he voluntarily just shut the group down. But what was amazing about that group is testimony after testimony I heard from the members of that group referring and talking about the amazing flips that he was able to put in there. So Liran, I know that now that you've kind of moved more into private labeling, and that's where you're really putting a major focus of your time, but you've also now created a course that basically details the exact method that you use to create a group where you had 65 people that were happy to pay you $150 a month because of the flips that you were finding. So tell us a little bit about your course.
Yeah, and Rita actually asks, I would love to use his app for flipping. He's going to open it up for the public. So so pretty much what I did was I created a course with videos of exactly what I do as far as within the Keepa website and on Amazon, how I do searches to find potential flips in shoes and clothing. And when I did have my sourcing group, I found that I was going to Keepa a lot, and I had certain filters that I used there, and I was refreshing the page to find the newest flips a lot throughout the day. So I created an extension for myself that actually popped up with the latest deal discounts within exactly the filters I was looking for, that instead of having to refresh Keepa, just popped up. And so when I created it, I really had no interest in sharing it publicly, because I was using it to find flips to post in my group. But I'm also adding that as a sort of as a bonus with the course, the Keepa extension. We were actually originally going to charge like a monthly fee for that extension, but I had a glitch with my developer at the end of developing it, and so we just decided to just sort of gift it without any additional monthly fees. We'll probably fix that at some point in the future, but if you do get the course before we close it, then you won't get there won't be any charges in the future for using that extension. Rod Snyder asked if it works in all categories. So yeah, so the Keepa extension works in all categories. It's essentially what it does is whatever you have on your Keepa page, whatever category you're looking at, whatever filters you have, it'll pop up those latest deals based on what you have filtered. So it's very helpful if you just want to have your computer on and have it pop up with the latest finds instead of refreshing Keepa all the time. That's kind of what I was doing, and that's why I found the need to create that extension.
Awesome. So folks, again, what he's done with this course is he's basically shown, right, through videos, and then he's also including his extension, the exact same methods that he used to run a $150 a month group with 65 different people. And so, you can imagine the value that's going to be there if he's able to do this right and keep 65 people happy, as well as have a long waiting list. Then the method that he's using works. He just showed his numbers earlier. If you're joining, just this year so far, he's done over $100,000 in sales of just Amazon to Amazon flips, again, using the exact methods that he's going to show you in the course with his extension that he had custom built. So if you buy the course, you're going to see his exact methods, and then you also get the custom Amazon to Amazon flip extension that he had built specifically for himself that he had no plans to share publicly. So so I just think the course is awesome. Anything else you want to tell us about the course?
Yeah, so the course is basically, I believe it's seven or eight videos. It gets right to the point. I want to put it out there up front. It's not like 7 or 8 hours of content. It's probably an hour to 2 hours of content, but it goes right to the point of exactly the type of searches you need to do to find flips on Amazon, and using Keepa, the type of searches that I do. It gives you the extension, and I think pretty much everything you need to start, looking and thinking differently about how to find Amazon flips, probably in ways that, even if you've done some flips, you've probably never done it before. We've had some good testimonials so far on the course. I don't know if you have any of those up anywhere, Andy, but we've had some good testimonials from people that were both in my sourcing group and people who weren't in my sourcing group that, they really like the extension and the course. Somebody's asking actually a question that I'll answer. Rod is asking, sometimes you see 20 to 40 variations and then 3 to 8 different sizes. How do you know which variation and size to go with? Is there a max number of variations that you look at? So some of it comes from experience. For example, when it comes to shoes, like black is always, for example, a good size, right? Or women's size 7, 8, 9 are always like good sizes, even 10. Andy actually has an extension called Variation Pro that I think comes along with his Mastermind group. And there might be some others out there that allows you, and you can do it manually too, is you can look at the reviews and see, based on the reviews, what people have bought. So you can kind of go through the reviews, and on the verified purchases, it usually will tell you what size and color somebody bought. So you can kind of go to that data, but some of it, kind of comes with experience. Like I said, black, for example, is usually a really popular color. So I always know that's, probably doing better than other colors, and for example, with shoes. But, that's also why I mentioned, if you're starting out, start with a lower rank, like let's say 25,000 or less, and start out with less variations, so that you're not going to make those mistakes. And the more you do it, the more experience you're going to get.
Awesome. Yeah. So you asked about the testimony. This is one from Dean J. Rowe. It's actually in the Amazing Freedom group. So he says, "Holy crap, Liran! I've been taking the course all morning long. You are on another level with this, man. I thought it was simple to find Amazon flips. Now with your thinking and that extension, it does not make sense how easy it is. I kid you not. I've gotten 4 alerts while typing this message on the finds. Thanks again, Liran." Was Dean in your monthly group?
Yeah, Dean was in the monthly sourcing group. Dean's a really smart, really good seller. So I was honored that he liked the extension and the course. So yeah, Dean's if you ever watch Dean's on Periscope, and he's always showing his wholesale buys, and he runs a toner business too. So Dean's a really good seller.
Awesome. What I love about Amazon flips is they're so easy. Mm-hmm. Like they just, very simple process. Amazon ships it. Like you said, you can have it shipped to your house, or you could ship it to a prep and pack center. If you do a prep and pack, you never even see the product, and it just right back in.
Right. Even if you send it to yourself, it's really easy. Just, whether if you're commingled, you don't even have to label it. Just, you scan in the UPC to, whatever listing software you're using, or into Amazon Seller Central and list it and just send it back out. It's really easy. Sometimes I would just like literally open the box, count the items, close the box back up, and just send it. It's so easy. So it's an easy way to buy additional inventory, and if you use a prep center, it's even easier.
Awesome. So do you want to just share the PowerPoint you have there of where they want to find out more about the Flips course?
Yeah. So let me share my screen. Okay. So this is the website, azflipcourse.com. We're going to close out the course on October 31st. We only want to, let a certain amount of people in before Q4 that are using the extension. And then we'll probably, just in terms of our future plans, probably open it up sometime again next year, but then we're going to fix the app to charge that monthly fee. So it's a good opportunity to get the extension without the additional fee, and that's the website, azflipscourse.com. There's an email address there if you have questions. There's also a 14-day money-back guarantee. So, if you decide it's not for you, just ask for a refund. It's no questions asked.
Great. So somebody just asked, what does the extension show?
So basically, what I teach you to do with the extension is how to use Keepa in a way that the extension will pop up with the latest Keepa deals. So sometimes with Amazon, when they drop the price on something, they only have like 5 left in stock or 3 left in stock. So if you're the first one to find that deal and you can buy it, you're going to get it before other either consumers or sellers buy it out. The extension is going to pop up the latest Keepa items, the latest deals for you, instead of you having to go to keepa.com and refreshing the page all day long, which is pretty much what I did until, when I was running a sourcing group, until I developed this extension. So the extension is not like magical, finding flips, but it's magical in the way that you can find them first. And when you set up your criteria and Keepa, your filters, the way I teach in the course, you're going to come up with opportunities faster than you would without the extension.
Awesome. So you guys, this is the Amazon Flips course that Liran is going to show you again his exact methods that he did when he ran a group that had 65 people, that each person was paying $150 a month. And the people that I talked to that were in that group say that it was phenomenal. And what he has done with this course basically is he is showing. Now, the only reason he's actually doing this is because his business model is kind of going all into private labeling. When I talked to him before about it, he was very protective, right, about his strategy, his methods, and his extension, which I totally understood. But since then, he's kind of gone. His business is going in a different direction, really toward private labeling. And so he had the idea, look, I'm going to make a course. I'm going to show people the exact way that I found these flips. And so, I think it's phenomenal content, and I think it's perfect timing coming into fourth quarter.
Yeah, and even if you just use the one tip I gave you here on following Keepa on Twitter, you're going to find opportunities in Q4. But then think about how much faster you're going to get notifications on the deals if you put the if you use the extension within the Keepa toy category. You're going to get a lot of pop-ups during Q4 that if you're sitting in your computer doing OA, you're suddenly going to see a price drop on Amazon. I mean, last year I flipped a lot of toys in Q4. I don't flip toys throughout the rest of the year, but in Q4, toys sell out, obviously, and consumers are willing to pay more for them during Christmas, prices that they won't pay throughout the rest of the year because it's on, somebody's Christmas wish list. And so those are opportunities that you can find using just Keepa's Twitter feed. But if you follow the website along with the extension, it's just going to send it into overdrive.
So Rhonda says, that was an awesome group that you had, and she misses it so much.
Thank you.
Rhonda was in there.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
And somebody has a question here. Amazon is steering away from MSKUs. Does that mean inventory is commingled now, even if you don't want it to be? I don't know. It's a good question. Some people have the theory that whether or not your inventory is stickered or not, it's commingled anyway. I don't commingle inventory. I've always commingled inventory. I've never had an issue. But that's I mean, if it's stickered, it's supposed to not be commingled. So I don't know.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, you guys, if anyone else has any questions, we're going to try to answer them right now. We're not going to go much longer. I actually have a former student that is playing for the Seattle Seahawks. His name is Gary Gilliam. He's the number 79 on the offensive line. So I'm going to go catch probably the second half of that show here in a little bit. Jack has a question for you there if you see Jack's question.
Yeah, I see. So regarding the Twitter feed, how do you set this up as only if Amazon is the only seller? So the Twitter feed is basically if other people are tracking the price drop, then you will see when the price goes down and Keepa alerts them, you will see that on the Twitter feed. So the Twitter feed is only if other people are tracking that specific item, then you can start to see it come up. Richard asks, when are you coming out with your PL program? Well, Andy already has a private label course, Amazing Freedom, and I think it's closed right now, but I think Andy plans to open that back up in January. But we just recently did a retreat, and we've done some events around private label. Somebody asked if the extension could be downloaded on 2 different computers. Mike asks, and yeah, you can download. I don't mind if you download it on 2 different computers. Not a big deal. Rod's asking, how do we get Andy's Variation Pro? So Andy, is that by joining the Rage Mastermind group? Yeah,
so you just have to join the Mastermind group. You'll be in the Mastermind group for a month. If you want to continue in the Mastermind, then it's a monthly fee. If not, if you just want Variation Pro, then you can just message myself, and we'll actually then just stop the payment. So basically, if you join the Mastermind, you get it for $49.97. Hey, and this is a little off topic, but I just had to show you this. This map right here, right? I just got shipped to me from another seller. His name is Andy McCann. So I've just kind of helped him out a little bit, on Amazon, and he built this himself. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
It's made out of like a gold foil, is how he made the world. But it's like a world map. Isn't that awesome?
Private label it.
Yeah, he built the whole thing. I mean, like everything, like
wow,
the plywood on the back, everything. So,
wow, he's talented.
Yeah. But I just think it's pretty cool. When you get gifts like that from helping folks out. So.
And Rita says, Andy, congrats on your armrest bomb.
Yeah, so we talked about that a little earlier in the show. If you get a chance, definitely check out that video. It's kind of funny. It definitely went viral. I'm hoping to be able to make some of the morning show circuits. Again, like that's when I know I have arrived. If the Today Show calls me, or Good Morning America, I am in New York City in a second, and I'm going to come visit you, Liran.
Okay, sounds good. Mark and Maria, they're asking about Variation Pro. They said they lost it when they had some issues with it late summer. I guess if they post in the group, right? Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Just put a post in the Mastermind group, and Nate or myself will get back to you, and then we'll give you the link for it. All right, so hey, you guys, that's it for tonight. Again, Liran, if you could just put the link up there for the course.
Yep, I'm going to share my screen.
So that's where you want to go to. Go to azflipscourse.com. If you're interested, it closes October 31st. And again, Liran stands behind this. I stand behind it. We're both in Amazing Freedom, right? The public Facebook group all the time. We're in various groups all the time. So just like everything, right, that I offer, look, if you have a problem with it, all you got to do is message me. Liran's the same way. All you got to do is message him. I stand behind everything, right, that I put out there, and I stand behind this 100%.
Yeah, and we've a bunch of people have gone the course. A lot of people really liked it. There's been a couple of people that said to me, "Hey, I looked at it. It's not really for me." Just gave them a refund. I'm not going to ask you why or having to explain it to me or anything. If you don't think it's for you after taking it, you'll get a refund. The extension will stop working after a couple weeks if you do cancel. But if it's not for you, it's not for you. If you buy it and you like it, and it helps you sell more products on Amazon, then that's the purpose.
All right, awesome. So if you guys have any more questions, go to Amazing Freedom Facebook group, and you can put them there right underneath this thread. We actually we're live right now in the Facebook group. So if you have any questions, I'll put them there in the thread, or you can just start a new post if you have any questions for Liran or myself. I think you definitely want to check it out, though, azflipscourse.com. And you can see, again, his exact methods that he used as he ran a 65-member group at $150 a person. And he's put everything that he knows, right? All the techniques he used in that group, he's put in this course. All right, so I think that's it. Liran and I are actually meeting up again tomorrow in Kentucky. We were in Denver, actually in Breckenridge last weekend. And then on Thursday, we were in Chicago together at the Ecom Chicago event. And now tomorrow, we are going to Corbin, Kentucky to hang out with the wholesale formula guys for a few days. So we've definitely been traveling a lot. And then when Liran gets back from that, he's hopping on a plane and he's flying to China for a week. So definitely doing a lot of traveling.
Yeah, I'm bringing my own armrest also.
All right, so look, that's all we have again tonight, you guys. I just encourage you to check out his course, azflipscourse.com, all right? So we're going to go ahead and sign off. Everyone have a amazing rest of the weekend and have a very profitable week. All right, thanks a lot, you guys, for hanging out with us.
Thanks.